everybody. Welcome back to Simply Social Podcast. As many of you know, if you've been following along on our Instagram page, you know that Simply Social has hit the road this week. We are in our Boise, Idaho office, and we are visiting our account management team. So this is home to that team, and we've had a great time, very busy week hanging out with them. For many of you that have not been to Idaho, hugely recommend that you come check this place out. It is fantastic. It's an amazing city filled with tons of great outdoors. I've had a Idaho potato pizza so far this week. Blew my mind, really good. So highly recommend you come check it out. It's a great place to be, filled with great things to do and great people as well. So we've got an exciting episode planned for you today. We're talking about all things recruiting. We get this question a lot. Can I use social media to recruit candidates? You know, we know a lot of the old-fashioned ways to recruit candidates through, say, job boards or through direct mail. Is that the way nowadays that we do it? No. We recommend using social to try to recruit candidates, especially those in specialized fields. But to tell you more about this topic, we are bringing in one of our experts in the field. His name is Alex Carpenter, and he truly is an expert in all things recruiting. So he's going to be answering more of those questions for you today. Please welcome Alex Carpenter to the Simply Social Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm honored. It's
been a treat being in this office hanging out with you.
It's nice having you.
I see you've worn your trucking hat
That's
for
right.
our episode today. Many of you don't know this, but he is actually our specialist in the trucking field. So works with many of our recruiting carriers, I guess I should say, right? Looking for drivers in the trucking industry. So he's going to tell us more about that field and recruiting in general. But thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So let's jump into things.
Okay.
What do you think about social and using it particularly to find candidates?
I think that you absolutely should be doing it, and if you're just making it an afterthought, you're doing yourself a disservice. It is such a great platform to recruit for any position. As you know, entry-level position to highly skilled, you know, you need a lot of qualifications for that job. I think that social media is great.
Well, and you gave me a little tidbit of info earlier today that you were actually recruited through social.
I C-squared social. I saw an ad on Facebook while I was waiting for my wife to get ready for our date night. And I was just browsing, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. What's this about? Clicked it. Lead form came up, answered a couple questions, it auto-filled my personal information. I hit submit, got a text saying, hey, thank you for filling out the form. You know, please send your resume and information to this email. Did it, and long story short, here I am.
And we're so happy you're here.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you kind of actively looking for a job?
Not at all, actually. I thought I was working where I was going to be for the long term, and I was just kind of open to the idea. So I was really passively looking for a job, and I was open to the idea, and yeah, it was a fit for both of us, I think.
Yeah. I think that's amazing you say passively it found you when you were just kind of hanging out at home, maybe not really necessarily thinking about trying to find a position, but seeing it in your spare time on social.
Yeah, I probably spend a little too much time on Facebook, but you know, the ad was, I think, targeted towards my interests and my qualifications and the demographic area or geographic area, and you know, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about those qualifications. So, what is it that you typically look for when you're recruiting a position, any type of position? What special things do you look for to try to find that candidate?
Yeah. So we try to work with the client of what they're looking for. You know, do they need a special license or an endorsement or a set of qualifications, be it a degree or certain years of experience in a job field? And so we use that information that the client gives us, and we use that in our interest-based targeting of, you know, they have a Class A CDL license, or, you know, maybe they have a bachelor's degree in a certain field. These are all things that help us serve the ad to the right people, so we're not showing it to someone who doesn't qualify.
Yeah. Would you say that it works kind of for all industries and very specialized positions?
I would say absolutely, from entry-level positions to, you know, highly skilled and, where you need multiple qualifications, I think that we can be as broad or as narrow and targeted as we need to be in social media marketing.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're itching to talk about the trucking world. I know I need my trucker hat for our next interview.
Yeah.
But let's jump into kind of like your niche area of recruitment, which is the trucking world. And I know that you've got a lot to tell us about that.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of your clients and some of the successes that you've had.
Yeah, so we have clients that, maybe they're only looking for local drivers where they're home daily or home weekly. And then we have clients that have over-the-road positions where they go from coast to coast and they're gone, 14, 17 days out of the week or out of the month. And we can really tailor our targeting and the ads for that client to whatever they need. If they're looking for that local guy that wants to be home daily, we can find them. If they need someone that's over the road or they're going to be gone 14, 17 days out, and they've been driving for 3 years, they have a tanker and hazmat endorsement, and they have a clean driving record, we can find that guy too.
Yeah. Wow. Those are all very, I hear those words like the tanker hazmat endorsement, like such specialty things to look for.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't think that you could just go out there, specifically find that, and then target somebody who has that specific license or has experience doing that.
Yeah. At first when I first came into it, I was like, wow, man, they're very specific on what they need. This might be challenging. And what we found out was it's actually the information is so readily available that it was pretty easy to find them. And there's a lot of drivers out there.
Yeah, a big need for it.
Yeah.
What are some of like the tricks and tips that you would say you use kind of on a daily basis to try to find those people?
I think it starts with good ad copy, what the ad says to that potential candidate. They want to know quick and short what they're going to get by driving for you. How much are you going to pay me? How often am I going to be home? And what am I doing? Am I driving over the road or am I driving, a hazardous material? What am I going to be doing? So we just keep it short and simple of this is how much we're going to pay you. Maybe there's a sign-on bonus, the culture of the company. And then we couple that with great graphics. We have a great graphics team at C Squared. We do all of our graphics, in-house. And so great graphics, great ad copy, good message, and
successful combination there.
Successful combination.
Yeah.
And that action step being the lead form of collecting that information, asking them those questions. Hey, do you have a CDL A license or a Class B license? How long have you been driving? And then we collect that information, send it to the client, and they follow up with a phone call, email, text message, and
simple process.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah. What's one of your best success stories?
I think one of my best would probably be a company working in, it was the East Coast. They were looking for concrete or cement drivers, dry bulk, fly ash. It was a very specific niche. And I was honestly a little intimidated at first because it was so specific.
Right.
And we
probably feel like there's a handful of people that have that.
Yeah, and it was a very small area, 3 or 4 cities within a 50-mile radius. And we put it out there. We ran the campaign for 30 days, and he needed to hire 6 people. And he hired 6 people within that campaign, and he was ecstatic with the results. And, he continues to use us for his other positions as well.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I heard you talking earlier about how we had kind of an overflow of positions for one of your clients, that he actually went out and bought more trucks so that he could hire those candidates.
Yeah, his strategy was very aggressive at first. He was hiring about 1 out of every 10 leads that was coming in, and he got to the point where he didn't have any openings, and instead of pulling back and pumping the brakes, he actually invested in more trucks so he could keep those hires coming in, and they're buying more trucks every single month to keep to keep those leads coming in and putting them in trucks.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
You're filling up those trucks left and right.
Yep.
I love it.
That's
exciting.
Goal.
That's exciting. Well, and we know that it works in, not just driver recruiting, but in so many other aspects of business, whether you're looking to fill a very high profile position, say it'd be like a lawyer, or if you're looking to fill, like a restaurant position. I know we've done a lot of work in that space as well, but it's that targeted ad and like you said, finding something specifically going towards that candidate.
We can find you those caregivers, the assisted living home employees, lawyers, entry-level positions. If the client has a need or they need to hire someone, they're on social media. We can find them and we can give them the right ad and get that lead over to the client to hire them. And it's a very quick and easy process.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who kind of has all their positions right now on like a job board, or maybe it's all listed on Indeed?
Yeah, I would say so do a lot of other people, and they're probably getting lost in the mix. Yeah. I love social media for recruiting, because that ad, when it was served to me, I wasn't looking for a job. I was kind of killing time, and I was open to what I was looking at on my phone, and that's when that opportunity showed itself to me, and I took very small commitment of, I'll send you my information, see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that information, that ad being shown to people in their free time, is the least saturated moment to do it. And I think that's the best opportunity for people to hire people.
Yeah. They're kind of going through that discovery process.
Right.
What about the cost involved for a lot of the candidates that you're working with right now? Would you say it's expensive to be looking for people on social?
I think social media is probably the least expensive way to find people. Our leads right now, the cost per lead is anywhere from $4 or $5 a lead, all the way maybe to $20, $25 a lead, which industry average is anywhere from $50 to some trucking clients the average is around $150 a lead. And it is always our goal to keep the cost per lead and cost per hire as low as possible.
Yep. Wow, that's a huge savings when you think about the difference between posting on a job board versus social and the amount of times it's seen. Yeah. Well, sold. I totally agree with you. I know that social is, I see it as kind of this massive database to try to find candidates, and like you said, in the most opportune moments when they're on their phone. Chances are they're not spending time on a job board 4 hours a day.
I wasn't spending 4 or 5 hours on those job boards. I spent a little too much time on social media, but it works.
Hey, you and me both. No shame.
No shame.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. We will be back into the Boise office soon. As I close out, for any of those watching, what would be your number one tip, Boise related, if you were to come visit this city? What would you recommend doing?
If it's football season, you got to check out a game on the Blue.
Oh,
you got to watch Boise State play a home game on the Blue.
Smurf turf.
Yep, that's right. Go hike Table Rock. Go check out the old Idaho State Penitentiary. Take a tour. There's so much history here. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here. You heard it, everyone. Social is a great way to find people if you're looking to hire. For those of you out there who are hiring managers, recruiters, I highly recommend you add it to your social plan. And don't forget to subscribe to the Simply Social podcast. Check us out. Leave us a quick comment. Tell us what your plans are for recruiting, and we'll see if we can help you out. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.